Broadcasting plays an important role in the development and advancement of women, as well as the issues that they face.
Having more women in broadcasting means that we can be able to reveal life experiences and also to help them to break down their barriers and obstacles.
Our voices as women in broadcasting are important to ensure that diverse content is included. Women do not just share their own stories, they share the stories of women who are disempowered and voiceless.
My presence challenges stereotypes. It fights bias, it forces change, and celebrates the potential of women. It says girls like me, it is possible.
The kind of work we do in broadcasting allows us to rewrite history. History is a story that is narrated by different people from different perspectives and from different outlook. So it is important that stories of women are narrated authentically by women themselves. They can be heroes, they can be pioneers, they can be innovators, inventors, but they have to tell the stories themselves.
Our legacy as women in broadcasting is to ensure that the seeds of courage and fearlessness that were present within the women of 1956 are firmly rooted in the hearts and the minds of young girls across this country. Our strength is in our unity, and women can defy the odds.
See expressions, sithi halala zimbokodo, halala maqhawekazi.
Happy Women's Month.
Happy Women's Month.
Dumelang Zamanani, hello South Africa, very warm welcome to Expressions. A very happy Women's Day to all the women here in South Africa. You are watching Expressions, and this is definitely the place for you to air your views. I'm Jacqueline Mapala.
I'm your host, Umxolisi Masango. Welcome to this Women's Day special edition of Expressions. Are we giving enough support to abantu besifazane who are thriving in male-dominated areas or spaces? We're going to be linking you up with these extraordinary women who are doing extraordinary things. What do you have to say about the conversations that we're having? Expressions, do participate in Kundlenzethu zokuxhumana. Let's take you to our very first conversation. So excited.
You're watching Expressions, your #1 youth current affairs show. Today we are putting a very important and special spotlight on young women who are thriving in male-dominated spaces. We are in Auckland Park at the SABC, and I am going to be meeting the creme de la creme, extremely talented camera operators that actually work here at the SABC. We're going to have a chat to them to find out what does Women's Day actually mean to them, but most importantly, what it is that motivated them to get into this particular field. So let's go and meet them. Now, what exactly motivated you to actually enter into this particular industry, but to also do and work in the field that you work in?
As a kid, I've always wanted to be on TV, but I wanted to be in front of the camera growing up. It was when I got an opportunity to do a game show on the SABC one with my mom. I think I was in grade 12 then. And I was introduced to a different side of what television is. So I was taken into the studios, I saw the camera operators, and that's when I literally fell in love with the magic that happens behind the scenes.
We know as a camera operator, this is an extremely male-dominated area. What challenges have you encountered?
I must say that as an industry, we've come a long way. There's been a significant amount of changes. In the beginning, you always had that thing where people think just because you're a woman, you can't be as good as a man, or just because you're a woman, you won't get ahead because of merit, you will get away just because you're a woman. So I think the women in the camera space have proven that we can get ahead on merit and not just because we are filling up the stats.
Now, what is it that you think that women bring to this particular field that is unique and very quintessential to who they are?
I think naturally as women, we've got a good eye for detail. So even the small little things that your male counterpart might miss, you as a woman are sure to get those shots or that story. In the many years that I've been doing this, I've done a couple of different stories. So I've done presidential shoots, the last one being when the Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, came to visit our President Cyril Ramaphosa. I've done high-profile funerals like the funeral of the late Bob Mabena. I've covered protests like the famous Fees Must Fall protest that happened recently. I was also a part of that coverage. So I've done quite a different variety of stories and shoots. I would like to say to all the women on Women's Day that we should walk in the footsteps of the late Abu Mamdidi and Ngoyi, fill in their shoes and take up space in our different professions. Take up space, be vocal, focus on yourself, focus on your craft. And once you are focused on your craft, there's no way people will notice. People will take you seriously because you actually know what it is that you're doing. And make sure that we just fill up the spaces, need more female camera operators.
My love for the industry started while I was still in high school. I think I was in grade 10. I remember my father asking me, Hore, so when you're done with your matric, what would you like to do? And I was like, you see, as we're watching TV like this, when the program ends and you see those credits rolling up, I want to see my name there. So I knew then that this is the industry that I wanted to go to, even though I hadn't decided what to major in. So as the love grew and grew and grew, my late brother actually talked me into majoring in camera work. And the love grew from there. I was just fascinated by this piece of machine and I wanted to know how it works. I finished my course at NEMISA in 2010 and then I joined the industry in 2011. And then with the SABC, I've been with the SABC for, this is my 9th year with the SABC. What I love about my job, first things first, is being able to tell stories through the lens. The opportunities that it presents, you know, traveling the world, having to see other parts of the world and how other people live. I also like the fact that we tell stories from people who come from different backgrounds, you know, from politicians to business people to people in the arts, and also touch lives. Because some of the stories that we do, some of the stories that we cover, change people's lives. So we tell stories and they reach relevant people, and those relevant people can be able to intervene and change situations here and there. And also, you know, working for the biggest news broadcaster in Africa is one of the amazing things, and it's an honor. In my experiences, one challenge that I could say I've encountered is when you enter a space where there's a lot of male camera people and reporters sometimes you get undermined a bit, looked down upon, like you can't do the job as good as they do. But overall, honestly speaking, in my experience, I haven't really encountered a lot of challenges. What motivates me also about the job that I do is covering stories from people who come from different walks of life, people who come from very disadvantaged backgrounds, and actually using that situation to improve their lives, to become better versions of themselves, instead of using the situation to actually deter themselves. So those are the kind of stories that motivate me, and it keeps me going. For young women, or women in general that would like to join the industry, I would say go for it. If it's your dream, if it's your love, if it's your passion, then pursue it, follow it. But the industry is very technologically driven. Do your research, know what you're getting yourself into, because technology improves all the time. So don't get into a field that in 5 years' time, your job would be, you know, non-existent. So do your research properly, come join the industry, but do your research properly and come prepared. What I'd like to say to women on Women's Day is that I'd say let's continue changing the game. Let's continue being motivated, changing the game, penetrating the industries that are male-dominated. Let's continue making our mark, cementing ourselves in those words, and yeah, making our word heard and recognized and acknowledged.
Deeply inspired by that very powerful conversation, we continue this important topic around women who are thriving in male-dominated spaces. We'll be back right after this. You're watching Expressions.
Welcome back. You're still watching Expressions. We continue to have very important conversations this Women's Day as we ask the important question, are we giving enough support to women who are making strides in male-dominated sectors? What do you have to say about the conversations we're having? Skona go Facebook kanye na go Twitter. Let's take you to the next insert. Okay, it's Women's Day, Mundumusha, and we continue to link you up nabantu besifazane who are making strides in their respective industries, who we thought those industries would be male-dominated. Hazel Dube from Hazel Dube Strategic Holdings speaks to us namhlanje about umsebenzi wakhe. Let's go meet her.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Cool. Scan again. Oh, sweet.
So I run a company, a cleaning company called Strategic Orientation Holdings, and we are based in Johannesburg. The company started in 2018 with the aim of changing lives, providing quality and reliable services to people, and also making it more affordable to the community that we live in. And just also to become an outstanding woman in today's society, especially in the community I come from as an individual, where a lot of young people don't have inspiration. So we provide those services from commercial to industrial services, corporate, and basically different sectors of our business, you know, whether it's in schools, clinics, we are willing to work.
So tell us about what motivated you to get into the sector.
So how it started, I was part of an organization where they focus on entrepreneurship, and that's where we actually got more entrepreneurs in the space, people that are making millions. And I was just like, okay, how am I going to get here? I was only 18, turning 19 at that point. You know, I was so scared. But then I took that risk to be in that platform as one of the youngest entrepreneurs. I learned a lot. I allowed myself to learn. I allowed myself to move out of my comfort zone. So that is really what helped me. So when we won the prize, because we had 5 groups and I was part of the Trailblazers, I remember. It was such an amazing group. So when I won that prize with my group, we won a prize, we had to divide that prize. Then I thought to myself, okay, what will I do with this money? Because, you know, us as youngsters, I was in varsity. First year, I'm like, okay, maybe I can get, you know, nice sneakers or maybe a second-hand car or something to just keep me going. Then I realized, no, you can actually invest in a business, because the mentors at that organization used to tell us that do not eat before you multiply. So that's how the company came about.
Maybe if you can just take us through what your day looks like.
Okay, so basically with me, I plan weekly and obviously daily, just to check up if we have met our weekly plans or our weekly duties or daily duties. So the first thing I do in the morning, just to check up on my workers, if they're at work, if they've checked in, and also if they have obviously followed the different protocols that they have to follow, especially now with the COVID, you know. And just to make sure that you have all of the equipment and chemicals that you need for the day. For instance, the signs, some of the cleaners, you know, especially in this industry that we are in, they're not really well informed. So with me, I make sure that the cleaners have the signs and they're able to follow the protocols in cleaning, so that the company does not find itself at any, you know, danger or any problem that might cause an injury to them or an injury to the people.
Your industry is thought to be male-dominated. Khuluma nathi about some challenges that you normally face in emsebenzini wakho.
So in this industry, you meet a lot of males, and as we go and approach companies, you know, different clients for job opportunities, and you find the person who's handling that department probably is male. Sometimes you get, you know, people that now need maybe sexual favors, people that need maybe you to do certain things that are against your morals just for you to get that job. And if you are a person who says no to those favors they would want you to do for them, you might not really get where you want to be. So I think that is some of the challenges that I face as an individual and a young person, a black woman living in South Africa, to say, you know, it's really sometimes not your work that determines you, but really sometimes people feel your physique or your looks determine where you have to be.
Sakhuluma ngama-challenges kanjalo, do you think abantu besifazane ikakhulukazi in the sector that you're in get the support that they need?
I've got support from the people around me, which is my family and friends, but in terms of big corporates, in terms of maybe governments, I've really not gotten any assistance.
But I also want to know, since it's Women's Day, I want to know what does the day mean to you?
For me, this day means celebrating yourself, even if it's the smallest thing that you have done. Waking up and just making somebody smile. So women are the strongest, women are amazing, women are just everything, you know. So I believe that they have to be celebrated not only on this day, but every day.
Women are definitely doing it for themselves. I am so encouraged by the fact that women are doing so much to inspire all of us that we can actually overcome despite the challenges that we are facing. You are watching Expressions. We are back after this.
Welcome back. You're still watching Expressions, and we continue with our conversations. Namhlanje, this Women's Day, as we ask the big question on the show, are we giving enough support to women who are thriving in male-dominated spaces? I'm so excited about the conversations we're having. What do you have to say? Do participate in Kundlen Zethu Zokuxhumana. Take a look at this insert we have for you.
We are in Dainfern. We're going to be meeting another phenomenal and exceptional young woman who is doing golf and playing golf. And we're just going to find out a little bit more about how she got into this particular sport and obviously find out if there is enough support for women in the sport that she is playing. Let's go and meet her. Nicole, what motivated you to start golfing?
Basically, loving to be outside, be in the fresh air. My partner introduced me to golf and I was just too jealous to watch him carry on without me, so I decided to join and met up with a whole bunch of ladies who are very encouraging and supportive, and just loved it from then on, and I couldn't stop.
As we celebrate and commemorate Women's Day, what would you like to say to all the ladies out there?
Well, women, ladies, girls, I just encourage you to get out there, try something new, whether it is golf or not. But golf is really so much fun. It is about the 3 Ps. I call it patience, perseverance, and practice. It taught me a lot of patience. It taught me not to be so hard on myself, to expect perfection every time. And I have relaxed a lot more, enjoyed myself out there. I just think women have so much potential, underrated in many aspects. And I think we just need to pick ourselves up and encourage each other and go on and do something fun that you enjoy.
Do you feel that women in golf are given enough support?
I feel that the support for ladies has picked up a lot recently. I feel that we are being recognized a lot more to be part of the game. We are getting support from men where we do play mixed opens together, men and ladies together, 1 comp a month. It encourages them to get used to playing with us, seeing what we are about on the golf course. In general, I think ladies golf is being recognized a lot more, and it could do with a bit more, but we're happy where we are.
Okay, so we continue with conversations around Women's Month. Sisewayivali ke manje to meet up with Ugabi. She's going to be speaking to us about how she's thriving in a male-dominated industry, gay activism. Let's go meet her. Sure, now you in the activism space, right?
Yes.
Talk to us about your life.
So I grew up as a religious Jewish girl in the northern suburbs of South Africa. I grew up very secluded and naive in, quite a privileged white environment. And then I entered the space of Wits University and got a lot of exposure to the different dynamics, challenges, and experiences of South African people. And coming from all different spaces, all different lives and sections of our country, all coming under one space. And it really was an awakening experience for me, because obviously I knew that being in South Africa, we have so much to fix and so much to do. But when I went to Wits, I realized that what I was doing is I was trying to fix it, but only within my community and within my comfort zone. And when I got to Wits, I made the decision that I don't want to just fix the 5-meter radius around me. I want to fix the country.
Now, this business, in a way, might be perceived to be, a largely male-dominated industry, such as your activism space. Maybe if you can just take us through some of the challenges that you come across as a female in this space.
There's a lot of feminists that believe that in order to succeed, we have to become like men. We have to be aggressive, we can't use our emotions, we can't get sensitive, we can't be compassionate, we have to be direct, we have to use rationality. And for me, then what are we doing? We're going 10 steps back, because now we're making the bar according to men. And what we need to do is make the bar equal for men and women and retain our femininity within our fight. We need to open the doors for all women. So when we get to a position, we need to make sure that we're not the only woman sitting on that board, that we're not the only one in that position, that we're not the only one in that executive committee, that we're not the only one on that ground or in the interview, but that we are surrounded by women, that we're surrounded by our sisters, that we're surrounded by our heroines.
Wow, so let's talk about what Women's Day means to you.
For Women's Day in South Africa, for me, it's a joyous time, but it's also a very hard and sad day for me. Because yes, there are a few victories that we can celebrate, but there are more battles that we have to fight. With a country that is filled with gender-based violence, with a country that is filled with inequality, where there's a country that we have literally in the looted areas, most of the policing community forums in Soweto are women, yet women are not only the protectors, but also the victims in this country. We have to have courage and we have to have strength, but we also have to have compassion and sensitivity. And we have to look at where we've come from in order to see where we're going. And as South African women, I truly believe that we have the strength, the power, the courage and resilience to make sure that the next few Women's Days are more of a celebration than a day of remembering the struggles and fights that we still have to do.
Simko, we've come to the end of today's episode, and I am extremely inspired by some of the stories that we were able to feature today. And we want to say to all the women out there, happy Women's Day. And hopefully the women, in terms of the stories that we're able to cover today, that you feel inspired to know that nothing is impossible to you. Right, Mko?
Absolutely, Jacqueline. And we thank our organizations, La Wakhona La eMzansi, who continue to lead the charge to change, to making sure ukuthi abantu besifazane are put in those positions, of course, through merit. Sibonge kakhulu ke nakuwe muntu musha for your participation enkundleni zethu zokuxhumana. Sesiyayivala ke namhlanje. Till next time, and sale kahle.
Adios muchachos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.